No long intros, no advertisements. I'm Shield Maiden, and I'm gonna get you through the Deep Stone Crypt. Desolation. This is simply a Sunday Sparrow drive with some deathly obstacles. No sweat. Shelter from the storm is gained by standing inside the bubble. It also resets your frostbite stacks. Frostbite is gained by being outside of the bubble. Once you hit 10 stacks, you die. All you're doing is following the faint orange lamps from bubble to bubble, avoiding the slow bombs and killing enemies. Do this until you get to the end with the Briggs, kill them, and wait for the airlock doors to open. Crypt security. For your loadout, Bastion and Xenophage are very strong here on the fuses. Using wells and bubbles help increase damage, and there are overload champs, so just make sure you have something to deal with them. Take some time to look around the basement and light and dark rooms before the encounter starts. Make sure everyone knows where the augmentation terminals are, because that's how you pass the buffs. We'll usually start with all but one player on the dark side. The operator, they are the only ones that can activate the keypads. This is done by shooting or meleeing them. Scanner is the only one that can identify the keypads that need to be activated. We usually identify the keypads from back to front, 1 through 5. 4 and 5 can be seen together. 4 is on the pillar and 5 is on the wall. When everyone's ready, the operator picks up from the terminal and kills ads on dark side until scanner is acquired. Scanners drop from a vandal on dark side. Scanner will pick up and begin scanning, I know, shocker, for the 2 lit pads through the windows in the floor. They'll be glowing a kind of yellow that looks like graph paper. Then the operator will open the door at the back of the room, let scanner go through to light side, and the operator will go below to begin activating the pads that the scanner identified. The scanner then scans light side and lets the operator know. The operator will pass up, take scanner, and identify the fuses that need to be shot. The fuses in the basement on either side of the augmentation terminal directly correlate to the fuses in the light and dark room. Because of this correlation, the fuse callout should sound like dark middle or light right. It can be done in one phase, but if you don't, just swap out the operator and repeat the process. Atrax 1. For your loadout, Lament and Parasite are best in the heavy slot for this. Burst supers like Nova and Thundercrash also work well here. You're going to split into 2 teams of 3. One team will stay down below in the crypt, and one team will take the elevators into space. The Crypt team is going to clear ads until the scanner vandal spawns. The space team will do the same, looking for the operator buff. Once both buffs are acquired, killing all 6 servitors, which is like 3 above and 3 below, will start the damage phase. There's going to be 4 copies of Atrax, but only one of them can be damaged. The scanner will look for the copy that's glowing yellow, like the graph paper again. You're going to sync up your attack for max damage. We usually count down from 3. When the copy is destroyed, it will drop a replication that looks like stardust that needs to be picked up and taken to space. Follow the operator to an airlock, where the operator will activate the keypad. Once inside, the operator will shoot your replication right off of your head and you can exit the airlock. The replication will be ejected and you can return to the crypt. When the replication's being cleansed, scanner will need to be passed upstairs through the augmentation terminal, and the space team can deal with their copy of Atrax. Just repeat these steps until final stand is reached. Side note, it doesn't matter where you put the buff in, any augmentation terminal can be used to pick up a buff. For final stand, all 8 copies of Atrax will be in space. The Crypt team will take the elevators up to space, find the correct copy of Atrax, and kill it. Multiple copies may need to be killed depending on your damage output. Rapture. This encounter is pretty chaotic, but it's also quite easy. Really, all you need here are ad clear weapons and supers, and there are overload champs, so again, make sure you have something to deal with them. There's a new buff that's introduced. It's blue and it's called Suppressor. With this buff, you can stun taniks by standing under each of the 3 drones, I call them beach balls, and shooting him. The stun happens under the 3rd drone. All 3 buffs will be acquired by killing the vandals carrying them. The operator will shoot one of 2 glowing keypads, spawning nuclear cores that will need to be deposited into 2 of the 4 buckets in the middle of the room. Scanner can see which of the buckets are correct. Once taniks is suppressed by the suppressor, the nukes can be deposited. When you're holding a nuclear core, you're going to gain stacks of radiation. Reaching 10 stacks will kill you. Cores can be taken by other players to prevent stacks from getting too high. When taniks is suppressed, one of the buffs will be deactivated. This buff will need to be deposited into an augmentation terminal and picked up by another player. Repeat these steps a total of 6 times. After depositing the final pair of nukes, a hatch in the middle of the room will open. Drop down and run down the hallway, reaching the open room before the door closes. Taniks. Burst DPS supers and wells work really well here. Burst damage weapons with divinity, like rockets, slug shotguns, fusion rifles, and snipers, really take chunks out of his health. Snipers are also really nice to take down the nuclear cores. An operator may want a long-range primary for damaging the detainment bubbles as well. Split up into 3 teams of 2. Home team will get the operator buff, blue team will get the scanner buff, and orange team will get the suppressor buff. While clearing ads, taniks will choose one side of the map and all players will meet up here. Wait for taniks' engines to glow. Destroy the engines to get the nuclear cores. During this phase, meteors, basically purple goop, will be dropping from the sky. So dodge these or risk dying and not getting all of your nukes. All players except operator and suppressor will need to pick up the nukes that are dropped. Scanner. You're going to see 6 buckets around the arena, 2 per section. A bucket will light up for each nuclear core present. A minimum of 2 boxes will need to be ducked into to continue the fight. Operator. While players are carrying nuclear cores, taniks will trap a player in a purple detainment bubble. Shooting this bubble while holding the buff will free them. Suppressor. Just like in the previous encounter, you're going to stand under the 3 beach balls and shoot taniks to stun him. Once suppressed, the buckets will open to allow the nukes to be deposited. Players will no longer be trapped by taniks, and one of the buffs will be deactivated, so make sure you swap that out at an augmentation terminal. Repeat these steps until all 4 cores have been deposited. Once they've been deposited, taniks will return to the middle of the map. Wait for a damage phase to start and then jump in between the floating debris into the circle. During damage, you're going to be booped out. Just jump right back in and continue the damage phase. You're going to repeat all of this until you hit final stand. Taniks will teleport to each of the 3 sections of the map, and you're going to continue damaging him while dodging the purple goop. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out the videos on screen for more Destiny 2 content. Bye!